right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Chase Golightly in North Phoenix for a tense school board meeting. Teachers and parents demanding a governing board member resign after she gave a Nazi salute. Her response coming up.
I'm Tiani Jadling in Phoenix. A Phoenix man is pushing to save his 124-year-old home from demolition. Why he believes it should be preserved tonight.
We're done with the red flag warnings for now, but now it's all about the heat. I'm tracking our first 110s of the year.
And we remember the life of former Phoenix Police Chief Ruben Ortega and the boundaries that he broke to protect the city he loved.
12 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. An emotionally charged night in the North Valley with a crowd of parents and teachers demanding that a school board member resign after she gave a Nazi salute at a previous meeting. Thanks for joining us tonight for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kariba Devine. Board member Kimberly Fisher saying tonight that she will not resign. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly was there for the meeting, telling us what Fisher and others had to say. Chase?
Creepy, harsh words coming from the crowd tonight, calling Fisher an embarrassment to the district. Her response to all of this was she had already apologized for the gesture and believes all this outrage against her is being exaggerated. It's a video Deer Valley Unified School District officials say has been seen all over the world.
All those in favor? Heil! Heil!
Governing board member Kimberly Fisher giving a Nazi salute and saying Heil at the end of a meeting in May, leading to district-wide calls from teachers, parents, and those within the Jewish community for her to step down immediately. About 24 of them gathered outside the board's latest meeting to protest.
I find her behavior unacceptable, period. And I think she needs to go.
Take accountability instead of blaming others.
Since the video went viral, Fisher had apologized, saying she knows the gesture is offensive, and the reason why she did it was to mock the governing board president, claiming that he was acting like a dictator.
No, that's not a valid excuse at all to use that hateful gesture at all.
And it's totally not acceptable. She should resign.
Then during the board's latest meeting on Tuesday night, they expressed those concerns directly to Fisher.
Kimberly Fisher, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I cannot imagine bringing my child to a school district where board members are allowed to make Nazi salutes regardless of intent or context.
No child in DVUSD will feel safe until you resign.
What district employee would not be fired for this?
After 30 minutes of public comment, Fisher was asked to respond.
My action was nothing more than calling out the dictatorship that we have been dealing with.
Once again, calling the board president a dictator, blaming all this pushback against her on the teachers union, Democrats, and news outlets.
After all, I've supported Trump. I'm a Christian. And the most important thing that y'all miss is the biggest thing y'all hate me for. My faith in Jesus Christ. And whatever happens,
leading to outbursts from those in the crowd. Eventually, board members called for Fisher's mic to be turned off.
Cut her mic.
Fisher then packed up her belongings and left, yelling back and forth with the crowd, who once again demanded her to resign. Her response?
We sure will.
We tried to speak with Fisher after she left the building, but were blocked by police. Now, after Fisher left, board members did condemn her actions from the previous meeting, saying it does put the district in a bad light. As far as a recall effort from some that we spoke with today at the rally, they say that effort is underway. We're live in North Phoenix tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. Tonight we know the identity of the driver who police say hit a bicyclist and then left her to die. 47-year-old Martin De Jesus Trinidad Sanchez is accused of leaving the scene of a deadly crash. It happened just before 6 o'clock this morning near Greenway and Cave Creek roads. According to a news release, Sanchez was attempting to turn left when he failed to yield to the bicyclist, hitting and killing her. The victim's identity has not been released.
A busy Phoenix intersection was closed for most of the day after another deadly crash. 7 vehicles were involved in this crash near 27th Avenue and Indian School Road. 3 people were taken to the hospital, including a pedestrian. One of the victims later died. Police believe the crash may have been caused by an impaired driver, and police are still investigating.
It's been 2 months since the city of Phoenix broke ground on Arizona State University's new health headquarters. The project is set to be 5 stories and will sit at the corner of 4th Street and Fillmore.
That's right, but even with plans in place, one neighbor is pushing to keep his 124-year-old home preserved. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling is joining us live in Phoenix, and she spoke with that homeowner and is sharing his thoughts tonight. Tiani?
Gray Bay Market's one of the few single standing homes in this neighborhood left. The home right behind me was built in 1902, and its owner, Robert Young, is doing everything he can to avoid demolition.
It is rich in history and what we call historical significance. And it starts with the person who created this house.
That's Robert Young. The 89-year-old has owned this Lewis Emerson home in the Evans-Churchill neighborhood since 1975. If anyone knows the origin story of the home, Young says it's himself.
I would describe it as being a one-of-a-kind because Clark Churchill decided that he was going to have an important connection with the street railway right here. It was called the Brill Edition.
He says he's poured countless hours into preserving this home, but with millions of dollars invested into Arizona State University's health headquarters, the future of his property is uncertain.
I have seen no drawings, nothing to show that this can't live in compliance with their plans.
The university plans to house the John Shufelt School of Medicine and Engineering in a 5-story building downtown. It's set to open its doors in fall of 2028. But the only parcel that hasn't been secured by the university is Young's home and some of the surrounding area. Young tells 12 News demolition isn't in the cards. And while he's not opposed to moving his property, what was offered simply wasn't enough.
Now the offer, I think, on the table, that was on the table, was $800,000. And I can't move it for $800,000. And then you got to take down all the stuff around it. You got to pay for the land where it goes to. It's not realistic.
On behalf of ASU, the Arizona Board of Regents has now filed a lawsuit in Maricopa County Superior Court seeking eminent domain authority over property owned by Young. According to a statement we received from ASU, it reads in part, quote, "The university made several offers to the owner to purchase the parcel, including options allowing for the house to be moved. The university's final offer was based on an appraisal prepared by an experienced, state-certified appraiser, a copy of which was provided to the property owner. The offers were not accepted, a decision Young can't seem to comprehend."
I mean, it's hard to believe that this house has been either here or where the manhole cover was for 124 years. And you know, that should be, I would think, somebody in ASU or the city of Phoenix would say, hey, look this is a huge mistake you're making.
Now, we did reach out to the Arizona Board of Regents, who helps govern Arizona State University, for comment. We have not heard back just yet. As for Young, he's waiting to hear about the fate of his home, and that'll come from a judge on June 19th. Live in Phoenix, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
All right, Tiani, thanks. New at 10, federal agents are looking for whoever dumped construction debris on public land near I-17 and Bloody Basin Road. Officials believe it happened sometime last month. The debris includes roofing shingles, and investigators think this may be connected to building projects in Cordes Lakes or Spring Valley. Anyone with information is being asked to call the Bureau of Land Management. New tonight, a high-stakes debate for the Democratic candidates in one of the most competitive congressional districts in the country.
The Northeast Valley's 1st congressional district covers parts of Phoenix, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, and Fountain Hills. It is one of the wealthiest districts in the state. 12 News journalist Bram Resnick tells us the debate focused on curbing the Trump tax cuts, expanding health care coverage, and one candidate is staking out front-runner status.
4 Democrats took part in Arizona PBS's candidate conversation, moderated by Ted Simons. Here are the top takeaways.
It is about electability. It is about who is the strongest person to take on whoever comes out of that Republican nomination.
Marlene Galan Woods made the case that she's the only Democrat who can win the open CD1 seat in November. That's despite her third-place finish in the 2024 primary.
They didn't spend any money attacking Amish. It was me. And why? Because they knew that I would win.
Galan Woods, the widow of former Attorney General Grant Woods, said Republicans attacked her in 2024 and not the eventual primary winner, emergency room doctor Amish Shah.
2024 was a tough year for Democrats. And we had heard again and again from independents and Republicans that I spoke to directly. They were unhappy with the top of the ticket.
Republican Donald Trump beat Democrat Kamala Harris by 4 points in CD1. Shah views President Trump as the top issue for Democrats in the fall.
The number one thing I have heard again and again is Donald Trump's assault on our democracy and the rule of law.
All 4 candidates vowed to push for either scaling back or repealing the Trump tax cuts.
This is one of the wealthiest districts in the state. How do you think ending tax cuts is going to go over in a general election?
As I said in the debate, I think very easily. I'm talking to Republicans, independents, and Democrats, and they want what's right for America. They're not focused on just simply getting rich. That's not the people of this district.
Political newcomer Rick McCartney is a small business owner who's lived in the district for 30 years.
But there are other sections of this district that we are very much focused on that don't have the kinds of opportunities that I'm fighting for in the House.
Jonathan Treble is a business founder, another newcomer to politics, and a recent arrival in Arizona as of late 2022.
I've planted roots here. My daughter has been going through public schools here since I moved here, and I'm excited to be here for a long time and support the state.
Treble's own medical scare exposed him to gaps in healthcare coverage.
I support Medicare for all, yes, and I think we need bold leadership, and we need programs like Medicare for all. It is the simplest answer. It would actually save us all money, and it would make sure everybody has health care.
Early ballots for the July 21st primary election will be mailed to voters on June 24th. In Phoenix, Bram Resnick, 12 News.